What's up guys, Dr. Jared here, and these are the best exercises to increase stability and decrease pain in your shoulder. Now most people realize that the shoulder is a ball and socket joint. You've got the ball, or the head of the humerus, that sits up in the socket of the shoulder blade, or the glenoid cavity. But what most people don't realize is that that socket actually isn't very deep. And because of that arrangement, there's a little more room for migration in the head of the humerus, or there's a little more room for that arm bone to get a little sloppy in there. If that happens, tendinitis, rotator cuff tears, dislocations, all can ensue. Now, luckily, we have some structures that are in place that are going to help to improve the stability in that system. In this case, it's your rotator cuff muscles. You've got 4 rotator cuff muscles. 3 of them come off the back of the shoulder blade, 1 of them comes off the front of the shoulder blade, but you see that they all wrap right around the head of the humerus. Their job is to keep that ball seated right squarely into that socket. And so if we can increase the strength of the rotator cuff, we're going to improve the stability of your shoulder and help you to feel better. That's exactly what I want to share with you in this video today. These are 6 of my favorite exercises to increase rotator cuff strength and improve stability in your shoulder. All you're going to need for these is a light set of dumbbells, and so let's go ahead and get to work. This first exercise is for your supraspinatus muscle. That's the rotator cuff muscle that sits right up here on top of your shoulder blade. This is called a full can exercise, and I'll explain more about the name here in just a second. First things first, let's get the posture right. So you're going to stand with the dumbbells at your side. I want you to pull your shoulder blades together into the back, and that's the starting position. Keep your arms nice and straight. We're going to lift them almost out to the side until we get up just about to eye level, and then return them back down. Now the path is very important. I do not want them to come up in front of you. I also don't want them to come straight out to the side. The optimal angle for that muscle to pull from is about 30 degrees in front. And so that's approximately the angle that we're going to pull from. Again, the emphasis is keeping your shoulders back. And then the other thing is, I don't want your shoulders to come up. Sometimes if that muscle is weak, your upper traps will tend to take over. And so you'll get up to here and then you'll shrug up to there. So keep those shoulder blades down nice and tight. And then that's the position that I want you to pull in right there. So choose a weight that you can do about 10 to 15 repetitions comfortably, and then we're going to repeat that 3 times. This next exercise is called side-lying external rotation. We're really going to isolate those external rotators in your shoulder. Looks just like this. You're going to lay down on your side, either on your bed, on your couch, or on the floor with your injured or with the shoulder that we're working up. And now in this position, grab a small rolled up towel, and you're going to put that on your side right here on your rib cage and pin it with your shoulder. That's going to put your arm in a better position to rotate from. Now we're going to grab this weight, but here's the thing. I don't want you to round forward with your shoulder, okay? We're not going to be doing this exercise in this position, but we're also not going to be doing it way too far back. I don't want you to round backwards either. So try to keep that shoulder stacked. That shoulder stays right on top of the other shoulder throughout this whole time. Now we're going to grab this weight and then use those muscles right in the back of your shoulder to pull that weight up towards the ceiling while maintaining that 90-degree bend in your elbow. And then we're going to return right back down and then right back up. So it looks just like this. The tempo is nice and slow, so 1-2 seconds up and then 1-2 seconds down. You can even pause up at the top for 1 or 2 seconds. And what we're going to do here is, again, pick a weight that we can get through about 10 to 15 repetitions, and then we're going to repeat that 3 times. With these rotator cuff exercises, it's more about endurance. So we're going to keep the reps a little bit higher rather than increasing the weight, rather than increasing the resistance on this. So again, about 10 to 15 repetitions, and then we're going to repeat that 3 times. Now, these next 4 exercises are some of my favorite for strengthening your rotator cuff. In fact, in my clinic, I like to put them together as a series, and I'm going to run you through that same series right now. It's important that I mention, though, you might not need any weight for this. A lot of times with my patients, I'll start them with no weight whatsoever, and their shoulder is pretty fatigued by the end of it. So maybe start with no resistance, and then you can work your way up as your strength allows. These are going to be T's, Y's, W's, and prone external rotation. This is how it goes. What you're going to do is lay down on the edge of your bed is a convenient place to do this, somewhere where your arm can hang down kind of in this position right here. I'm going to grab my weight. We're going to start with the T's. What we're going to do is I'm going to pull that weight straight up towards you, until my arm clears the table. So I want the dumbbell up higher than the table, but then I'm also going to turn my thumb up towards the ceiling here at the top, and then slowly return right back down to the starting position. And so that's what the T's look like right there. So nice and slow, we're going to pull all the way up until the hand is higher than the table, the thumb goes up to the ceiling, and then we're going to repeat that 10 times. Next, we're going to do the Y's. Y's are going to be up in front, so I'm going to keep my thumb up towards the ceiling, pull here in front until that dumbbell clears the table, and then slowly return right back down to the starting position. On this one, it's important, I want you to keep your shoulder blade pinched together, also kind of pulled down towards your pocket. I tell people, tuck your shoulder blade into your back pocket. That's going to put your scapula in the right position to then initiate that pull with your rotator cuff. Same thing on this, I'm going to say 10 repetitions, and then we're going to get into the W's is the next exercise. From this position right here, you're going to pull, kind of bend your elbow, and then pull your thumb up towards the ceiling, and so that's the ending position. So we're going from a position down here at the floor all the way up into that spot right there. Again, a bend at the elbow is lower than my shoulder, but then my hand is trying to still finish higher than the table. And so that's what your W exercise looks like. We're going to do 10 of those. And then the last exercise is going to be a prone external rotation. Kind of a few different steps to this. We're going to bend at the elbow to pull up into this position. Hold the elbow right there in that spot as we then lift the back of your hand up towards the ceiling. Once again, you'll see that my hand is higher than the table, and then slowly return right back down to the starting position, or back to the elbow bent position, and then return back down to the starting position. So kind of a 4-step process. Pull and bend at the elbow, hand comes up towards the ceiling, hold 1, 2, hand returns back down to that position, and then we lower the elbow down to the starting position. And then we're going to repeat that for 10 repetitions. So typically what I tell people is we'll run through 10 reps of each of those 4 exercises, and then repeat that 3 times. Now, if you're looking for more great ways to strengthen your rotator cuff, and if you have some bands or some cables available, check out this video right here. This is a great video to help you further. For some reason, YouTube thinks that you might be interested in this video, so check that out. See if YouTube's right. If you haven't subscribed to Tone and Tighten yet, hit the circle right here to do that. And I hope to see you again soon right here on Tone and Tighten.